During the rainy season, almost all areas in my town are flooding, such as schools, houses, hospitals. This year, 988 climate disaster had happened in Indonesia. I'm worried about the future of my life and the future of my family. In my family, only me become climate justice activist. How do you feel the impact of the climate crisis in your country?
I think this is what annoys me the most, is that we don't really feel the impact. And I know about the impact because I read about it a lot, and it's really incredibly unequal. We are barely feeling anything, and then every now and then we'll have these extreme climate events. For example, last summer, it was 40 degrees in the UK. Birds fell out of the sky last summer. That's how warm it was. And for a long time, I would call myself a passive activist, where I actually changed degree to study the climate crisis. But I realized that just simply wouldn't be enough, because the clock is ticking. In the next 10 years, we'll decide whether we have a livable Earth. And I simply didn't have time to study a degree, maybe do research or work. And I think I really got involved when I was reading the IPCC report as well. And something I noticed in the advice of what the scientists were saying in the IPCC report was that we had to halt all new fossil fuel and gas. We could not allow ourselves to emit more fossil fuels into the atmosphere. And that really just shocked me, because I thought, this is a really simple demand, and I'm sure that there must be a way to transition the economy, transition our energy supply in order to make that achievable. This group called Just Stop Oil, which is a sibling group to Extinction Rebellion, they work kind of together. And what their demand is to halt all fossil fuel, all new oil and gas licenses. And so that's why I got involved, because I was noticing that there was a complete separation between what the government is doing, what all governments are doing, and what the science is saying. And it means that the government stops subsidizing oil and gas industries and actually starts subsidizing green energy, hoping that the politicians decide to prioritize future generations is not something that's realistic. So we have to force the UK government to do this, to listen to the science.
First time I joined with Extinction Rebellion in 2020, when I initiated the local chapter of Extinction Rebellion in Makassar, educating the young people to care more about the climate crisis issues.
Obviously, climate protesting, getting really engaged with the climate crisis as an activist is really heavy as a burden, especially emotionally, because you can't just close your eyes to it.
It's so emotionally, and it's not easy to do it.
Is there something you think you could be doing to empower the voices of the people in the front line? Because I think Extinction Rebellion is, yes, a lot of media talk in the UK, but it's the Extinction Rebellion group based in the UK. How do you think we could try and empower the voices of Extinction Rebellion in the global south to try and empower those stories?
We have to unite it between the global south and global north. I need your solidarity from global north to tell the world about what's happening in my country, in the global south, about the climate crisis.
Yeah, I see. That makes sense. So it's more of our job with the media coverage, with the media power we have, to actually empower you instead of the other way around.
Why I become a climate justice activist? Because, I have 14 nephews. They are very fun. They as well are very sweet. And, my nephews is my reason to become a climate justice activist. And if people knew that the scientists say that we have a 5% chance of meeting the Paris target, and if people know what nightmare scenario we will face if we don't keep global warming below 2 degrees Celsius, they wouldn't need to ask me why would I want to be a climate justice activist. Because if everyone knew how serious the situation is and how little is actually being done. Everyone would do as I do.
You know, when I speak to my grandfather and we go to the forest, we see a flock of birds go by. I forget the name, it's a specific species. And I go, oh, look, there's, 5 of them flying together. And he goes, yeah, when I was a kid, there'd be 20 of them flying at a time. The future I want to see is a future where we move on from neoliberalism, from the economy, like from the politics of neoliberalism, and also from the individualistic way that neoliberalism has shaped our societies. I think it's more going to community-based solutions to try and expand our grasp, to really caring about a community, building it together, finding solidarity. That's something that we're lacking a lot today, and it's what you're mentioning, is trying really to care and to find strength in the struggle that we all go through. So my message is, act now. We do not have time. There is no future to invest in if we keep doing what we're doing today. So yeah, what's your message?
My message for the world leaders, I say, how many heat waves, drought, pandemic, and natural disaster will it take to finally recognize the threat of climate crisis? United together, to united and taking action together. The corporation purposefully block any attempt to heal the planet. Now is the time to make amends for this world and all that life in it. We have to fight for our life and for our future.